In South Korea, police have set up a 561-member task force to investigate what caused the deadly crowd surge this weekend that killed more than 150 people. Young people were out celebrating Halloween, hitting the streets of the popular nightlife district of Itaewon when things took a frightening and deadly turn. Emergency workers and ambulances struggled to get through the crowds to help people, contributing to the chaos. President Yoon Suk Yeol has declared 1 week of national mourning, ordering flags across the country to fly at half-staff. Joining us is journalist Frank Smith in Seoul. Frank, can you give us a bit more on the latest?
Well, according to the most recent information, we have 154 people have lost their lives. 30 people remain in serious condition. Of those that passed away, 98 were mostly young women, 56 were men, 4 of them were teenagers. One middle school student died, and 26 foreigners died in this crush on Saturday night in the alley just behind me, where thousands of people, an estimated 100,000 people, gathered for what was supposed to be a much more festive occasion. This was the first instance, a weekend, when young people could take off their masks. South Korea's mask-wearing mandate for outdoor activities had been lifted, and they looked forward to celebrating this event. Instead, it turned into tragedy. Melissa?
There's going to be a lot of, or I imagine there already is a lot of anger over this. Can you give us a sense of how people are reacting there?
Yes, there is a lot of anger, and I've seen that here in the street at this site. The Prime Minister came to this location just about an hour and a half ago, and when he came here, he was shouted at by a man who perhaps had been, hit by this tragedy in some way. And also there has been some vitriol out on social media, with some videos circulating that show what happened. This is somewhat reminiscent for South Koreans of the 2014 Sewol disaster, when a ship went down off the Korean peninsula, taking 300 people with it, including 270 youngsters out on a field trip. So certainly people are remembering that, and remembering kind of a vow that the government made that public safety would be looked after. That wasn't the case here. Numerous eyewitnesses that I have spoken to personally have said that the crowd control here was disorganized. So certainly there are going to be some tough questions to ask, and tough questions of high officials. South Korea's Minister of Interior and Safety said that this could not have been prevented. Obviously, that runs counter to what some of the eyewitnesses said, and other information that suggests that crowd control here in Itaewon had been different on previous, large-scale celebrations such as Halloween and New Year's. So definitely, again, the investigation that they say is going to take place is going to have to be a thorough one. Melissa?
I remember that ferry incident, and that contributed to the eventual exit of then-President Park Geun-hye. And now I understand President Yoon has had a rocky start to his presidency. Do you think people will be blaming him?
Certainly things are going to get pretty political. There was another conservative here in an incident that took place at this site, and he was calling out encouragement to South Korean President Yoon's Prime Minister as he toured the site, shouting that he should cheer up. And this was amongst people that had come to share their well wishes here. So certainly the question is just how political this will get, with Yoon's approval rating dropping below 30% recently. People here in South Korea are trying to come to terms with this now. Just behind me, an altar has been set up just near the alley where this took place. People have also placed chrysanthemums at City Hall and given out now black ribbons to call for those that have lost their lives to rest in peace. Melissa?
Frank Smith, thank you so much.